making men over 50 harder to kill. Welcome to today's Greater Life Coffeecast. And if I were to ask you what Scott over at Argent Alpha does for the men over 50 that he works with, what would your response be based on what I've just said? I'm guessing you wouldn't have to think very hard to respond, making men over 50 harder to kill. And this fact gets to the heart of the importance of today's Coffeecast, because today we're going to explore power words, and indeed how it should/could be child's play for you to create power words around your business. Now, this whole Coffeecast is inspired and built on the idea that when it comes to branding, and by this I mean actually whether it's your personal brand, how you want to be known and understood by people, and or whether it's your business brand, how you want people to know and understand and speak about, experience, feel about your business. It comes down to your words. I have shared in many podcasts previously the idea that words create worlds, that all creation originates in language. Okay? And therefore, if you want to create a world around what you do, and if you want people to step into that world, and indeed, most importantly, if you want people to share that world with others, then they must know the words that you want them to use to create that world. Otherwise, they will simply use the words that they choose, and those may not be the words that you want. So, how is this live for us at Greater Life right now? Well, we have coined the term the Greater Generation to describe these incredible, activist, entrepreneurial, enterprising souls who are just flying in the face of every ageist stereotype and are really leading the change. And what's so amazing is that there are so many people in that space who are embodying those qualities as they do things that are trying to push the entire space forward itself. So they are being trailblazing, pioneering over 50s who are being enterprising and activist. And so it's so wonderful to see the living embodiment of these qualities of the Greater Generation present in some of its most awesome members. And one of the reasons why this idea of choosing and crafting and sharing power words is present for us is because genuinely, I believe, and I'm not alone in this, I'm having active conversations around this, that a new language is needed for the space to be able to describe it, to be able to leave behind its stereotypes, to lay its ageism to rest completely, and to actually articulate it to the world in a way where the world gets it. And so that actually this world we want to create for the over 50 space that is active, inclusive, that is creating opportunities, bringing innovations to market, that is, being activist, that is also though being able to navigate care responsibilities and speak about that and be supported in that. Same with the menopause, that there is so much here that needs new language and needs a new world around, that it is imperative for a new language to be developed. Hence, right now, one of our small contributions is this term, the Greater Generation, that we believe sums up so much so well. And the hint at child's play here in this journey of and attempt to create new language is that if the language is too obtuse, I hope that's the right word, and indeed perhaps I'm using language that is inappropriate, even in trying to describe inappropriate language. But if the language is too inaccessible, then it won't catch on a mass scale. And therefore, we will not create the new world that we want for the over 50s, because our language will not create, like the world, there won't be the kind of shared world building that could occur, right? Whereas if, and this is my example, if I could explain the new world of the over 50s to my son and daughter, who are 7 and 10 respectively, right? Then, and they get it, and they could tell their friends, well, then we're onto something, right? And so, if I was to say to my, son and daughter, oh, so, Scott at Argent Alpha, he makes men over 50 harder to kill, they could at least have an attempt at what that might mean, right? And so, this is what I invite you to consider here, is for yourself. Can you describe yourself in immensely compelling terms that still a child could understand? And I think Scott's really nailed it, right? Because among his audience, who wouldn't want to be harder to kill, right? I'm a man over 50. Hell yeah, I want to be harder to kill, right? So there's just an immediate match with what he seeks to offer and how he's offering it, right? That is immediately attractive. But I also think the simplicity of the language is part of that, and that my kids could at least get the ballpark, right? So where are you in this journey? And I know that perhaps you might be hearing this, and part of your enterprising, your contribution to this mission is a bit more academic maybe. I still wonder whether there's a space and a place for, particularly in something like a LinkedIn headline, right? Those first words that come under any comment that you leave. Can you make that really compelling? Can you make that really simple? So for me right now, that kind of first statement is championing entrepreneurs over 50. And my daughter would definitely understand what that means. And I then recently added speaker on the advantages of age and neurodivergence. And again, my daughter would understand that I speak about the advantages of age and neurodivergence. And so this is something how I've recently applied this to my own life, is to really try and bring that home in my profile so that it's immediate and compelling. And I will be doing that. I'll continue to roll that out across my Facebook and other areas that need updating and polishing. And as I say that, it feels like a good way to close, right? So over this weekend, is there any profile polishing that needs to occur, or above the fold website changing that could occur, so that you can begin to implement this idea of words create worlds, and that the more we can make it child's play, so compelling and easy to understand that a child could get it, and that indeed a child could refer us our ideal customer. That would be the ultimate, right? So that if my daughter came across a man over 50 who wanted to live longer, she might know, if she came across Scott's work with Argent Alpha, to refer this man on. Because why? Well, Scott makes men who are over 50 harder to kill. All right. So have a wonderful weekend, and I hope this gives you food for thought, words for pondering. How could you make the language of the world that you are creating, how could you make it simpler yet more compelling, and therefore more effective, and therefore give yourself an opportunity to enlist an army of friends and strangers who can help you to create your world, because they can share your language. All right.